These people had one thing in common. They were willing to put their time, their energies, and behind them, frequently they had parents who were crying.
When Warren Buffett said the middle class won't make it to 2025, it might have seemed like a grim prophecy. However, the unfortunate reality is that the middle class is going through difficult times. Of the three basic needs of man, proper housing and shelter have become a rising concern of the middle class. Would the rent crisis really change this generation?
There's not enough housing in the U.S., so guys like us that own 80,000 well-located apartments, we're still in a pretty good spot.
The rent crisis isn't just another one of those problems. It is hitting many people close to home.
Did you ever think that you'd have to move out?
Nope.
With increasing rent prices, soaring cost of living, and stagnant wages, the middle class is going through a squeeze like never before. This topic is crucial in today's economic climate, and guess what? You clicked on this video because this rent issue is beginning to hit closer to home for most people in the middle class. Not only are Warren Buffett's words a grim prophecy, but recent research also paints a grim picture. In today's economic climate, the middle class is society's backbone, driving economic growth and consumer spending. The middle class comprises of the people who make money and spend a good amount of their money in the economy. They're the people that live month to month on the money they make without putting much of the money in any faraway savings or tax haven. Their disposable income drives production and creates jobs in the economy. The middle class usually invests in education and skill development, which increases the number of skilled people in the workforce. The advancement of this set of people often means economic development and growth. However, this set of people are quickly vanishing as the gap between the rich and the poor continues to expand. More people are gliding into the bracket of the poor as the economy keeps spiraling downwards. The middle class is struggling to afford many of the basic amenities that they could formerly conveniently purchase. Chief among the pressing issues for those in the middle class is the inability to pay rent in the areas that were once affordable. As more people struggle to afford housing expenses and rent, the ripple effects are felt far and wide. The crisis is pushing many families to the brink, and it demands attention immediately. Businesses, policymakers, and individuals must recognize the significance of this crisis and take necessary steps towards addressing it. Failure to address this crisis will only put our economy's health and countless families' financial security at risk. As we go through these challenging times, it is vital that we prioritize equitable and sustainable solutions that ensure the middle class remains a thriving and vital part of society. Recent statistics paint a severe picture of the middle class rent crisis. According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition in the United States, a full-time worker who earns the federal minimum wage must put in 97 hours of work per week to afford a two-bedroom rental at market price. A study by the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies shows that since 2001, the renter's income median has only risen by 6%, while the rents increased by a whopping 61%. These alarming trends highlight the clear difference between housing costs and incomes, especially for the middle class, making it difficult for them to secure affordable housing. This crisis not only impacts individuals and families, it also has a broader influence on social mobility and economic stability. Without access to affordable housing, the middle class risks becoming largely marginalized and unable to gain weight, threatening the economy's foundation. This isn't the first time the middle class will be facing challenges. In the past decades, we've seen a significant economic shift with technological advancement, globalization, and financial deregulation used to transform the distribution and access to wealth. During World War II, the middle class in a lot of economies was prosperous due to affordable housing, strong wage growth, and social safety net. However, in the 20th century, the financial landscape started to change due to a concentration of wealth among top earners, erosion of workers' rights, and deregulation of financial markets. As a result, income inequality widened, and the gap between the middle class and the rich grew. It got worse with the 2008 financial crisis, which led to many job losses, a decline in home value, and foreclosure. The recovery from these events has been uneven as wages remained stagnant and housing costs soared for many middle-class workers. In addition, the rise in unstable work arrangements and the work environment has affected job stability and the benefits many households enjoy, making it more difficult for them to meet housing rents. What sets this impending bankruptcy event apart is the scale of the rent crisis. Never before have we witnessed a rapid decline in the middle class's ability to afford basic needs like house rent. One significant aspect of the impending rent crisis is the ripple effect it would have on the economy. As the middle class is considered the economy's backbone, their financial implications can have a widespread effect on housing markets, consumer spending, and overall economic stability. Another unique aspect is the mental and emotional toll the crisis will have on individuals. The shame and stigma associated with financial crises can cause depression, anxiety, and stress, thereby increasing the challenges of those already struggling. Additionally, the inadequacy of affordable housing options and social safety nets for the middle class can make it difficult to rebuild their financial stability. The lack of a proper system is why the cycle of debt and financial insecurity is difficult to break, trapping people in uncertainty and poverty. Overall, the impending bankruptcy for middle-class renters shows the need for policies and programs that prioritize every individual's general well-being and stability. If the root cause of financial instability is identified and support is provided for those in need, all members of society will enjoy a more sustainable and equitable future. The middle-class rent crisis has some potential outcomes, including a widening of income equality, as those currently struggling might find it very difficult to recover. This crisis could lead to financial insecurity and poverty in the middle class. There would be an increase in housing instability and homelessness as more middle-class families get thrown out or face foreclosure because they can't afford the rising rents. Regarding trends, we might see a shift towards policy changes and advocacy to address the foundational causes of the middle-class rent crisis, such as lack of affordable housing, stagnant wages, and soaring living costs. There might be a call for affordable housing initiatives, rent relief programs, and financial assistance for needy renters. Additionally, there might be a focus on creating more sustainable and equitable economic systems that take the well-being of everybody seriously, regardless of their socioeconomic status. Overall, the potential outcomes and trends of the middle-class rent crisis and impending bankruptcy show changes toward ensuring financial security and stability for all members of society. We all need to come together and support those struggling. The future of the generation depends on it. The middle-class rent crisis and the looming bankruptcy are serious issues that require immediate action and attention. The ever-increasing financial load and pressure on middle-class renters is causing a rise in housing insecurity, which has a ripple effect on the broader economy. As we go through this, it is essential that, as a community, individuals and policymakers come together and find sustainable solutions. From affordable housing initiatives to rent relief programs, there is a constant need to address the leading causes of the rent crisis. By taking the necessary steps now, we can achieve a more inclusive and sustainable future for every middle-class individual and family. And there you have it, the possibility of the middle-class rent crisis changing a generation. Is the middle class really going to disappear, or is there going to be radical action to change the trajectory of these things?